Hi, welcome to another week with just Tidbits with Mason is what I'm calling it. And yes, I missed last week, but I did film, but it was literally in the car. I had a root canal that day, and that video I just decided to toss. I had no passion in it whatsoever. But that also led me to not really being prepared enough for this week to really give you something new to chew on. So I'm going to kind of share some notes that I've had in my little handy dandy notebook, and just, they're nothing new, but I hope that they are an encouragement to somebody out there. Alright, so it actually has to do with one of the main principles of Charlotte Mason, which is education is an atmosphere of discipline in a life. Now currently I am working through her second volume, which is Parents and Children, and there is a good section in there that basically kind of expounds on this. But I have cliff notes that I'm going to be sharing with you, and just a little bit of thoughts on that, because we try to keep these between 5 and 10 minutes so that you just get a little bit of encouragement for your week. So let's talk a little bit about that. Education is an atmosphere, and the note that I have on that is the inspiration in home life is directed by the parents. What kind of home atmosphere are we setting up for our children? Charlotte Mason focused a lot, especially with the parents, a lot on habits, the habit of obedience and cleanliness and all those other ones. I think there's like 66 that you just work on perfecting over the course of a child's life. And trust me, moms need these too. Making that atmosphere is so crucial because it creates an environment for learning. Let me kind of try to go into there. One of the things that I try to teach my children is when you get something out, you put it away. I have made a video about, I can't tell you how many times people have asked me how I do habit training. I have made a video, and I will try to leave that linked above. But realistically, I struggle in this. But not only that, if you are getting frustrated all the time over all the stuff that you have to do, don't you think that your children are going to get frustrated as well, because they are imitators and they will imitate you. So if you want to set the atmosphere of your home, not just in creating, physically an atmosphere, but also a attitude atmosphere. My bangs are doing something crazy today. I have tried so many times, and this is the best that it comes with, and it's still bugging me. I have really worked hard on creating different atmospheres. One of the things is books for us. There are books in every room. That is an atmosphere. One of the things that I have tried to create is a clean home by the end of the day. And you can see that every day. That is my atmosphere. I would like it clean all the time, but I know that's unrealistic and nothing would ever happen, or they would never do anything because I would be afraid of the mess. Another atmosphere that we try to set forth is helping and loving one another. More often than not, that's not the case, but it's an atmosphere that we're working on, and if I exhibit that, I've noticed that the children, after a few days, the initial day is always just like, why is she doing this? This is not normal for her. But after the initial days, if I've really been working on it, then they will start following the pursuit. Especially those that are followers. You have leaders and you have followers. The followers definitely will follow after your path. The leaders are ones that tend to want to take charge. But if they're watching, like a good leader will watch and do what is right. Anyway, so that is your atmosphere. What are we doing, and what inspiration are we giving to our children within the home life? Education is a discipline. There is a lot with that word discipline. But initially, it means, and Charlotte Mason had this whole section on it, disciple is a follower. And with that, we want to create within ourselves something worthwhile following. 1 Peter 2:21, because I am a Christian, I'm going to pull out from my Bible. 1 Peter 2:21 says, For you have been called for this purpose, since Christ also suffered for you, leaving you an example for you to follow in his steps. You follow Christ, your kids follow you, until they reach the maturity to follow Christ for themselves. There is so much out there today that basically says, give yourself grace, give yourself, just take a little bit of me time, all this type of things, and don't, of course, everything that I want to say I can't bring to mind, but basically don't be so hard on yourself. And to a certain extent that is true, but I think we have almost gotten to the point where we have forgotten that we are to inspire our children. We are to disciple them, to encourage them to follow in a good way. If you don't think this means anything, I can tell you recently my eyes have really been open to seeing how many parents just sit down and don't care. I have not seen that as much in my previous years as I really have in these last couple years. The parents don't care. And everything is like, well, that's just who they are. Or it's more just, you know, I didn't want them in the first place. And it really goes back to, you are their disciples. You have to care. And that was another thing that she brought in this section of the book. When that child is born, all of that responsibility will fall on you. It's actually a good reminder to take this step in parenting and child bearing and rearing so seriously. It is something to really, it's not just something that happens, okay? It's not just, okay, I'm going to get married and have babies. But it's a really thought consideration of, I'm going to be setting aside a lot of me in order to raise this child, to love this child, not to give this child gifts, even if that's my love language. That's not his love language, and that's not loving him if I just pour on him my love language. I need to find out his love language, or her. Going back to, they are your disciples. You need to disciple them. You are going to help them become a better version of themselves. So, the last one, education is a life. How many of us really set the tone that learning is for always? Not just saying it in words, but actually showing it. Quite often, I am totally honest with the kids. I don't know this. I will look it up for you. And I think it was one of the weeks previous, or maybe it was the one that got deleted, I'm not sure, that I talked about a little bit about this. Basically, Charlotte Mason had said, you know, be honest with the child, show him let him know you don't know everything, but that you will swiftly find the answers for him or help him, work with him, and both of you find the answers to that question. Quite oftentimes my kids will ask me something and I'll be like, I don't know, I'll look it up. And honestly, I always forget to look it up. I can't always just sit down and do it, but there are ways so that you can go back to that. For us, let's think about this. Watching this right now, obviously you are educating yourself in more of Charlotte Mason principles and ideas, methods. I read a lot. I read child rearing books. I am educating myself on how to raise children. I educate myself by learning how to make different recipes. Everything. And if you kind of, oh, guess what? I learned something new today. I learned how to make this. All those kinds of things that you're putting into the child that I'm going to have to do this for the rest of my life. Not just sitting down and saying, you're going to do math because you have to learn for the rest of your life. But showing in every single way. Children are so visual. And that's what we're working with when education is a life. I'm still learning so much. I have learned so much in being a homeschool mom or just being a mom than I did in my younger years. And I have heard that over and over and over and over again. Because as a child, you're learning how to learn. As a parent or as an adult, you're learning. And It's incredible to take these ideas, education as atmosphere, discipline, and life, and really see how they work out within our everyday lives. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope it was an encouragement to you. Like I said, this is nothing new, but I really did want to encourage all of us in this season of life. Just kind of take it away, kind of ponder, and as you go throughout your day, maybe you can find ways that this will work within your home. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to leave a playlist with all of the videos that I have done so far with Charlotte Mason, as well as a way for you to subscribe if you would like to see more. And until next week, have a wonderful, wonderful homeschooling time.